Go ahead and take the fabric that's behind your head and then lay all the way back into it. And then your feet step in on the other end. You'll, just like you were about to do. And then straighten your legs out into it. So your whole body is just laying back. Head, feet, everything comfortable. And as the physical breath deepens, feel the body relaxing and feel the mind releasing its need to control everything and its need to judge everything. Here in this space, it's almost like we're in an infinite possibility realm, like that blank slate. Everything's fresh, everything's clean. And so from this state, this blank state, I'd like you to start considering what is one emotion you wish the whole world could feel a little bit more deeply. For instance, the one that I'm choosing today is love. I'm very grateful for love and how that changes people from the inside out. It makes their actions very differently when they're coming from love. And so for me, I'm going to start feeling that emotion of love inside of myself. And I imagine, what if some people have never really truly felt that emotion? There might be some people out there like that. And so it's like I'm really trying to feel and imagine I'm broadcasting that feeling out so that it helps, I imagine it helps the world feel love just a little bit more. So whatever emotion it is that you're choosing, maybe you're choosing happiness. Like, hello world, let's be a little bit more happy, or whatever it is for you today. Choose your emotion. Take a couple of breaths just to feel it. And that slow, present feeling, we allow ourselves to come into something special, into this moment. And so that's going to be our dedication for our practice today. As we move through our class, anytime we take pauses to just stretch, see if you can return to that feeling that you picked today as your dedication. That'll be the intent of our class today as we move forward. So with this, let's begin some physical stuff for the body. Let's start off with some nice stretches. The arms begin to extend all the way to the back wall. And let the shoulders start to wiggle to the right. And shoulders to the left. Take it a couple of times each direction. Feel the side body really waking up for you. Good. And when you finish your next set, come back through the center. Hug your hands around right knee. Pull that right knee into the chest. Put the right knee into the chest. Give the hip flexor a good hug. Maybe some ankle rolls, 2 or 3 good circles. When you're ready to extend this leg up to sky, we're moving into hamstring. See how that part of your body is today. Grab on, help to pull it in. Slow, easy breaths. Good. And before we release, we're taking a hip opener. This right heel hooks to back left side of the fabric, like a pigeon pose, just flipped on our back. Once the heel is hooked, slide the shin in. Hook an arm around that shin, slide it in. Listen to the knee, but also give that hip a good couple of breaths. Good. One more huge breath. Really feel your emotion, the one that we picked. And after that exhale, start to free out this leg, drop it down. Second knee into the chest, give it a hug. Maybe some ankle rolls. Leg up to sky. Feel how the hamstring is. I imagine when I take stretches with this kind of an intention, it's like the stretch through the muscle fibers is giving me permission to send that emotion down. Good. Let's take that hip opener. Hook the heel to back right. Slide the shin in. Take some good deep breaths through this part of the body. Good. Another huge breath in and out. This leg comes free. Drop it down. Kick the feet free off the front, and then use the hands to help you sit up. We'll be back to dangling at the knees. So let's invert. Let's see how our body is doing with that today. So grab your thumbs onto this back end of the fabric so that you can help to push the fabric clear down to the pant line. Higher usually is less comfortable in the inversion. So I really like to try to get it to push and stay. And to invert, legs go wide. You can squeeze and tilt upside down and let the ankles wrap around the fabric. You got it. As soon as you've got the ankles placed on that back end, just like we have, you're free to let go of hands. Our first chance to just let the vertebrae drop. Okay. Send some good breaths. If the fabric ever ended up in an uncomfortable spot, you can always come out and come back in, readjusting it. Here you have permission to listen to your body, to stay as long as it feels good for your body, not doing any sort of comparison with anybody else. Sometimes you'll get signs, if you haven't inverted in a while, you'll get signs in your body that it's time to head out, like ear fullness or just a lot of pressure in the face. So if you feel those, you can always come out before others, but as long as it still feels good, especially in the back, feel free to just let yourself release. Another beautiful opportunity, if you'd wish to take it, to just feel that emotion that we chose today. It seems like you shouldn't be able to feel on command, but it's possible, absolutely. For instance, every time I feel gratitude, I purposely list off some gratitudes. It just shifts things. I feel better. I'm not less concerned about one level of thinking and I'm kind of dropping into another. Keep on enjoying this, or when you come out, come to that resting pose. Floating child pose is hooking elbows behind and then allowing shoulders to relax forward. This helps the spine to stretch. It also gives us that opportunity for the blood pressure to flip back to this orientation. So we'll be here a couple of breaths. You guys did awesome. That was quite a bit of time inverted. And no, I'm never rushing you out either. If ever there's a day where you just know to be inverted longer than the rest of class, that's okay. You can always join back up with us whenever you're there. But starting to sit up, let's begin to take a couple of twists. Let's bunch up fabric to the front door side. From there, it's going to be your right arm that stretches to that back wall or circles around the back side of the head. It's the twist. Get your spine to twist in the areas and to the depth that feels perfect today. And let the neck be part of it, maybe even the eyeballs for a moment. The more we stretch out some of those eyeball muscles, the better we continue to see for longer periods of time. Inhale. Exhale, release. Let's twist to the other side, bunch up the fabric. And left arm goes to the back wall or circles around the head. Just switch your grip. That's it. You got it. You got it. Sometimes it takes a moment. Remember, let your neck be a part of it. Let your eyeballs be a part of it. Another good inhale. Exhale. Release and come forward. We're going to head out. When we head out, we like to have our arms on the outside. That just prevents any sort of face dive since our feet can't actually touch the floor. So bunching the fabric up, all I have to do is lift my hips up and down. Okay, let's take the fabric out in front of us. We're gripping about as wide as shoulders, standing pretty much at your plumb line, and then upper body goes forward, hips go back. Sometimes I'll start off here with a couple of cat-cows, rounding my vertebrae up to sky. Then when belly drops down, I gaze up. I like to do the exhale when I'm taking a cat. It kind of naturally squeezes my body. And inhale when I'm in that good arch. After the next one, return back to flat. Then let's sway over toward front door. We're going to bend the right elbow down to ground. That helps to ease our left shoulder a little bit deeper. The feet and knees, just do whatever's comfortable. Straighten both arms through the center, sway over to back door. This time, left elbow points down. Try to sink that right shoulder to the stretch. Good. Straighten both arms to the center. Take another breath to try to flatten your low back even more. Then slight bend to the knees. Let's roll our spine up. From here, taking our right thigh inside of the fabric. Always know if the massage you're going to get in a moment is too much, you can always spread out the surface area here. So that's an option if you ever need it. But let's take flat hands onto the fabric and then just thumbs hug around. Start to sink your weight forward. For me, I feel this, the front of the left hip. You can also possibly experience this in that left calf if the heel's trying to drop down. But know that if your ankle's weak, sometimes it's actually better to come more up onto the ball of the foot, just to help make sure that all those muscles are surrounding the ankle. Switching from warrior 1 to warrior 2, bunch both hands on left side. And then rotate your standing toes to point along the left edge of the mat. Continue to sink your weight forward. You could keep arms as they are, or maybe the front arm reaches forward, tricep pushing into fabric. Maybe left arm reaches back. Know that you have control of the depth by how much you squeeze your inner thighs together or release them into the stretch. Hands return on the fabric in front of you. Return over your standing foot. Slip down to this ankle that's in the fabric. Good. Toes are still facing to back door. So we're going to keep the arms open. That means on this left strand, the left hand slides up, right hand slides down. That keeps the chest open, kind of like a triangle pose. If that's enough stretch, that's beautiful, perfect. If you want to take it more like a splits, you can sink as much weight forward as you wish. Again, you have control based on how much you squeeze inner thighs together or release them. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze inner thighs together. Grip one hand on each side. Face forward. For this first one, let's just slip the hands down. Taking it to an easy hamstring stretch. If you want to sink some weight forward, that's fine. It's not quite a full splits. Just like a foot or so forward. Beautiful. Weight over standing leg, hands slide up. Let's do a swinging switch. So if you're not comfortable with the swinging switch, you'll just step this foot out, step the other foot in. But the swinging switch, lock the leg straight in the fabric, and then just step the other foot in, the first foot out. Awesome. Let's slip it to thigh. Make sure you didn't end up too far behind the plumb line, just 2 or 3 inches. Then flat hands high so that our fingers get a little break, thumbs hug around. Start to sink your weight forward, warrior 1. You might be lifting up on the back heel, you might be pushing it down. Notice how the little tiny shifts that you take in your body absolutely changes the experience. Into warrior 2, both hands go on right side. Standing toes turn to the right. Sink the weight forward, maybe front arm forward, back arm backward. If ever you feel more confident with gripping on, that's perfectly safe too. Full inhale. Nice exhale. Hands return, squeeze inner thighs together. Slip down to ankle. Remember on this right strand to keep the chest open, that means right hand goes up, left down. Your choice if you're also sinking weight forward, personal preference, whatever feels best. And again, use this as an opportunity to try to feel your emotions. Sometimes deep stretches, it's like deep things start to come up. But could we allow our body permission to experience love, joy, bliss, whatever it is that we chose, our dedication today? Another good inhale. Exhale. turn the weight over standing leg, grip one hand on each side, toes turn forward, and then slide hands down. Personal preference if you're also sinking another foot or so forward. Good inhale. Exhale. Take your weight over standing leg. If you'd like to try another swinging switch for practice, grip up high, keep the leg and the fabric block straight. One foot in, one foot out. Just for practice though, so flip it out afterward. Okay, we're gonna take a hip hang. This can be intense if your hips are not used to it, so know it gets better over time. It's kind of like that massage we got in our hamstring. It gets kind of deep. So know that you can always come out and in if needed. So fabric across hip bones. Guts makes it much more uncomfortable. So bones is where we want it. I'll usually be on my tippy toes walking forward until I can't walk any further forward. That takes all my slack out. And then from there, I can bend at the waist, drop the hands down. Take 3 huge steps back so that hips are back under plumb line. Good. Yep, you got it already. Naturally, the hip hang is the knees stay down, the toes lift up. I'll even kind of soften my elbows or hug around my knees. So this is one, if it's intense today, I promise it eventually gets better. Some people, this one's like one of those addictive poses. It's like, oh, can we get there again? There's a device that I'm aware of that massages right into your psoas. And it's almost like torture at first. And then your body starts telling you, no, you want that. That actually is a good thing. So it's kind of like this. That's kind of what we get. If you can feel that emotion that you chose out today, breathing that into all the cells of your being. And then imagining you're broadcasting it out. If anybody's picking it up right now, here's love. Don't have to feel lonely tonight. We're all connected. Similar to the last inversion, some people will naturally be here a bit longer, others shorter. So don't feel any pressure compared to anybody else. When you're ready to come up, you'll slowly drop toes down and then get your feet underneath. Head rising slowly, but no pressure again. Stay if that's what you know to do. You are up. The recovery for this one is fabric just like right behind your back. Yeah, give your head slow time to rise up. Fabric behind you so you can just lean back. I'll often clasp my hands behind the head so I can kind of just lean back like a recliner. love those slow, peaceful moments in inversion. Like when you get over the initial panic that's sometimes there, it's like all there is release. This feels so good. So I personally love to sway here. I'll bend one knee and then let my elbows go as far as they can to that side. And then straightening through there, I bend my other knee, sway over. So if that feels good, you can take it. We're partially just waiting for our head to feel like it's giving us good check marks again. It's ready to come up to stand. So no rush. Just stay in the recovery pose. That's always the rule. Stay in the recovery pose until you feel like you're safe. When you know that you would be safe to move on, walk backwards until you're standing up on your own. That's your way of letting me know you're good. Good. Let's take fabric out in front of us. We're going to do some add-on with some of the poses we've been playing with already. So let's take our right ankle inside the fabric first. So we'll do a splits first and foremost. Make sure you're not standing too far behind the plumb line, just that 2 or 3 inches. This time take the hands really high. I like to do a high grip when I do splits, just so that if I ever feel off balance, I can easily catch myself versus a low grip. You would have to be a lot lower to catch yourself. So nice and high, leg as straight as you can, and then just start to ease carefully and safely into it. Feel how if there's an edge, just pause for a moment, take a couple of breaths, and then maybe after a little while, the edge gets a little further and you can slip just a little bit deeper. So it's not a game of pressure of like forcing anything to happen, but it's just that slow, gradual easing. It's almost like we're waking up our body even deeper with some of those emotions that we were playing with. Joy, love, peace, light, whatever it is. One more huge inhale. Exhale, body comes back. Slip it down to the thigh. Another warrior one, so flat hands high. Sink the weight forward. In this warrior one, we're also going to add in a twist. So start to slip your left hand inside of the 2. Left wrist hooks on the outer right thigh. This right hand is pushing into the fabric and I'm leaning my shoulders backward. So in that press of my hand into the fabric, I'm just helping to twist that spine very gently. Even gaze up if that feels good for neck. Good. Grip that top hand. Unwind your shoulder. And then both hands grab on left. Rotating open to warrior 2 with the toes. Knee sinks forward to mirror. Open the arms. Extended side angle. Front elbow goes to front thigh. Top hand on the fabric. You could slip your elbow a little further down. So now it's shoulder close to the thigh or close to the knee. I have the shoulder in front of the knee, so it's like the inner knee. This hand that's on the fabric could stay if that feels comfortable or extend further to mirror. Extended side angle. Your shoulder or elbow that's hooked, it's not just kind of there. Use it to push against you to get that twist and stack of the shoulders. Good. Top hand grabs on. That grip safely lifts torso. Squeeze in our thighs together. Let's flip down to ankle. Still facing hips to back door. Take that open position with the arms. Left hand up, right hand down on this left strand. Maybe weight sinks forward, maybe not. Weight comes over standing leg. Leave just the right hand for safety. We're going to do another 90-degree turn to the back wall. So you're turning your toes all the way to that back wall. The leg that's in the fabric, that knee bends down. Good. Do a little grip over the shoulders. The thumbs down grip and the shoulders are free rather than armpits cut. Good. So thumbs down, you got it. So, and I'll usually do a tiny hop backwards just because that helps me feel the balance a little better. So for dancer's pose, I'll point my elbows to the back wall. Still the thumbs down grip. That's it. So point the elbows to the back wall, that engages the shoulders, and then you start to lean forward. The moment you kick the foot into the fabric, it creates the lift in the arch. Give it 2 or 3 breaths with that back bend. And rise back up. From here, releasing hands. We're going to try to make our hands go all the way to the floor. So try to move with balance. Slowly sweeping the hands down. Once your hands are down, drop the left knee down. From this shape, take a cat-cow just to notice how different it is at this leg step. So that hip in the solid position means you're limited. It changes how the experience of that cat-cow is. Good. Go back to neutral spine, so core is lightly engaged. Either work on lifting the left knee softly off the ground and back down. That's option 1. Or option number 2, step left foot into fabric plank and play with the knees bending in and then straightening back out. So you'll choose how many options feels good for your body. Everybody's different. Some might be 5 reps, some might be 10. Eventually, when you're ready to drop down, the left knee down, pigeon pose. Get to the pigeon, I prefer to drop down to elbows. For me, that feels really good. You can sink your weight as far back as feels good. You'll notice a bent knee in the fabric and a straight leg in the fabric will change the stretch. Bent knee for me gets it more into quad. Straight leg gets it more into psoas. One more huge inhale. Exhale. Softly drop the knee out. We're coming to kneeling. Take a normal cat-cow here. Up and down the spine. And then turning around to face the fabric. We're going to do a puppy pose. So kneeling down. Grip about as wide as shoulders. Leave the knees, the hips over the knees. So we're not going forward like plank. So hips stay over knees and then bending at the waist. Let yourself continue to arch the heart down. Straight elbows means really deep shoulder stretch. Bent elbows makes it a little easier in shoulders. So you get to choose your preference. Now exaggerate a child pose, sink the hips back and really push the spine back, the opposite of what you were just doing. And lengthen the spine back up to stack. We're stepping one foot in front and then the other. Let's get our second side, left ankle. Make sure you're not too far behind plumb line, so hop up if you need to. And then the nice high grip. Leg straightening as much as possible. Splits. Remember, it's okay to approach it in steps, getting to one edge and then breathing your emotion. Maybe eventually sinking a little deeper to the next edge. One more huge breath in and out. Weight comes over standing leg, slip down to thigh. Sink your weight forward. Taking the twist, right hand comes through the center, right shoulder is resting out on the fabric behind you. With that right wrist hooking on left thigh, you can take the twist, top comes high, you can push into it. Let the spine spiral around, maybe gaze up to sky. Hand wraps around, that grip helps us unwind the shoulder. And we're grabbing onto right side, turning standing toes to the right, sink weight to mirror, warrior two, maybe the arms join in. And notice for the warrior two part, my spine is trying to be stacked directly up and down rather than leaning forward already, though we will change that in just a moment. Just nice to notice the difference. So now extended side angle, front elbow to front thigh, or continue to slip to shoulder. Top hand just lightly rests on the fabric or stretches to mirror. I like to imagine my neck as an extension of the rest of the spine, rather than collapsing or kind of rolling it in different ways. See if you can keep it just as long as the rest of it. Huge inhale. Exhale, top hand grabs. That grip helps to safely lift spine. Squeeze your thighs together, slip to ankle. It's right side, right hand goes up, left hand down. Maybe sink weight to mirror. Good, returning back, over standing leg, left hand grips for safety. You work the standing toes to turn to the back wall, 90-degree turn, the knee bends. Once we're there, each hand grabs each strand, thumbs down grip. Yep, a little hop back usually helps my balance. And then point your elbows to the back wall, that engages shoulder strength. Lean forward, kick the foot into the fabric, dancer. You got it. More inhale, exhale, weight comes up. Let's free out our hands. We're pivoting down, dropping hands to floor and then lowering the right knee down. So again, you always have that option if this side needs you to just work softly the right knee up and down. That's option one. If you're good to do the same core thing, you can step in, hike the knees in, bend them in, but straighten them out. Again, you choose the reps before right knee down. So if you're doing the knee, really feel your core do most of the lift. Toes could be on the ground or not. And I'm hearing good deep breathing. That's super key for strengthening things like this. When you do go to elbows in that pigeon pose, recognize that you don't have to necessarily crank your head up. You could just let the neck hang heavy. Just nice and loose in that neck. Inhale. Exhale, slide that foot out. Come up to hands. Take another cat. Inhale. Let's do a teeny bit of arm strengthening before we head back up. So this time, come down to sit. Feet planted in front of you. We're going to create a wrist lock. Hands are in prayer position. They dive through. Thumbs turn down. Scoop the hand toward your face, flipping all the way up. And then from there, separate about as wide as your shoulders before you grip on. So the easiest option is going to be keeping feet planted and then using arm strength to come up and down, aiming for 5 times. The next step up would be 1 foot hovering, going up and down. 5, and then we'll take a break before you switch sides. If anybody's up for it, a bull pike is the third option. I'm not up for that one today, so that's your choice if you're taking it. So feet planted, 1 leg hovering, or bull. So when you're ready, inhale is our prep. Exhale is lifting. 5, 4. If you ever need to take breaks, that's okay. 3, 2, 1. Sit down for a moment, wiggle fingers. Little break before our second side. Good. Reset. So feet planted maybe, or maybe second leg hovering, or both again. Inhale, prep. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just use your feet and your arms to help you come up to stand. Good work. Free off the wrist, shake it out. Good work. We feel like we did something today. We're accomplished. Good. So let's take a nice inversion. You guys deserved it. So standing in a way that fabric is in front of your shoulders and the other part is just kind of right behind your low back. Just like the first inversion we did, we just slip our thumbs to the back side. That's what helps to push the fabric to where we want it. This time, instead of pant line, it's like another 2 inches lower. It's on sacrum, but not under sitting bones. That flat sacrum, I'm active pushing this fabric to stay right there so it won't slip up. I'm up on tippy toes, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. From that place, I can easily bend my knees, block the fabric right where I want it. My core is super tight, and then tiptoe until I'm under plumb line, in which place I'll go hands up, knees wide, and then just wrapping the feet. You're safe to release. Hands. Yep. If you find yourself rocking a lot, that's okay. You just know that you were not quite under plumb line before you went up and into it. Good. Yeah, beautiful. Good work, guys. Sometimes challenges, like the pull-ups we were just doing, takes us out of our emotion that we were hoping to achieve. So let this relaxation time here be a chance, if nothing else mentally, to return back to that idea. How much can I open up to say love, joy, whatever it was? Rush for those hanging, those that are up. You're welcome to add in some shoulder stretches here. Letting one arm come across, pull it in. And when you're ready to switch. We're going nice and slow like that. Similar to before, we're giving our head plenty of time to return. Back to presence. You've only done one shoulder, switch it out. If you've done both, maybe roll the neck around. And you're listening for that point at which your body feels pretty good. At that point, you can allow yourself to just walk forward up to the top of your mat, facing the fabric. We'll take a couple of bonus stretches preparing us for Shavasana. So make sure you have the very end of the fabric up to the top part. Up the top part. Okay, so find the end, wave it left and right, nothing's doubled over. Perfect. Yep, you got it. Sometimes it folds over and tricks you. That's why we do that little thing. So go ahead and hook thumbs. Take about 5 grips of fabric into your hands. Make sure you're under plumb line and then up to tippy toes. Slide it under glutes or hop if I put it high for you. Good. Okay, so step the feet in, but don't lay back quite yet. The legs are long inside. Hands are grabbing up high on the back end of the fabric. From that really high grip, you're slowly sliding yourself down to the back bend of your choice. So some of us, if you leave the fabric up closer to shoulders, that will make the back bend much more gentle. Those of us that want to go deeper, you can slip the fabric any amount further down, maybe to middle back, maybe to low back. Choose the spot that's comfortable for maybe 3 or 4 more breaths. You've been releasing arms if you get deep enough. One more deep inhale. Nice exhale. If hands are not on, grip back on. Safely lift the head up. And let's come all the way to a forward fold. So hands reach forward to the toes. Even let the head drop forward. This is a nice counter to that back bend, allowing the spine now to get the opportunity to release forward. Keep on staying in this forward fold as long as it feels good to balance out your spine. The moment when you're satisfied, that's when you're welcome to head to Shavasana. Grabbing the fabric to slide it up past your head, laying back. When you're there, sooner or later, no rush. There tends to be 3 favorite positions of arms. One is X over the heart. Another is arms by the sides like a soldier. And the last one is elbows by the ears, arms dangling off the back end. So just find the Shavasana that's perfect today. It's comforting, comfortable. And let this Shavasana be an opportunity for you to deeply connect, to kind of tune into and broadcast out that beautiful signal that we chose today. Love, peace, joy, whatever it is. You're in a state where you don't really feel it, almost like a wish, send the thought out, universe, maybe teach me in what love, or whatever your word is, feels like, deeper than I've ever felt it before. Sometimes you'll be overwhelmed by the response. Suddenly you look at people differently. Imagine almost like a computer program. It's like you run the update before you shut it off. Imagine this is the update section. Like, yes, I'd like to be updated to understand love a little bit better. Help me receive it. We'll be here for several more minutes. Just keep these slow, deep breaths flowing in and out. Nice and relaxing, nice and peaceful. Begin to deepen the inhales, the exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, stretching out like you're waking up first thing in the morning. Finding good movements back to the body, maybe letting the arms swing to that back wall, shoulders going left and right a few times. Sometimes people will take a fetal position. You do that by keeping the body long, but rolling over onto one hip stacking on top of the other hip. And from that position, you can curl in like a tight little ball. And then arc the spine back. It's helping to wake things back up, back to presence. If I'm doing that fetal position, usually I'll do 2 or 3 to one side, eventually flipping over 2 or 3 to the second side. It's helping to bring everything in good balance. More or less, when you've reached that point, feel pretty present, body feels good. Welcome to come up to a seated place. Keep the feet free off the front. Using the grip of hands to help us rise. Bringing hands together in front of heart. Begin back where we return. Feeling that residual energy that was just broadcast out during Shavasana. Feeling those beautiful emotions, love, peace, joy, or whatever it is that you dedicated your practice to today. And recognize it doesn't have to just be a one-time thing. We can choose at any point to kind of spread that emotion just by feeling it. People are way more connected than we give them credit for. They can oftentimes pick up on our emotions. Sometimes when I'm driving, I imagine my car is like a dragon's wings and it's kind of just spreading whatever emotion I want the world to feel as I drive by. And so with this broadcasting out to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.